All right, good afternoon and welcome back to the HGC Southeast Asia. This is the Eastern Clash qualifier for all of you Southeast Asian folks out there. I'm Babel. Joining me today is Riku. How do you find this entire production so far?
I love the production and the production team as well. Very, very friendly and hardworking. But the matches that we've witnessed earlier really got me hyped up, especially the last series that we witnessed, the Resurgence versus Play Stomp. It
Yeah.
was really close. Like I had no idea who was gonna win that one.
I think it was at the end of the day, like what Jiha mentioned in the last series, Lauda did a lot by going to the back line, and that is very important for a tank to do. Of course, you can try and block him a little bit, but at the end of the day, it's what differentiates a good player from a bad player is where you know when exactly what you need to do. And Lauda knew exactly all he needed to do was he has got indestructible. All he needs is just to just really distract the back line. A bit lackluster performance from Resurgence, of course, in the series, but they'll be back playing again tomorrow in the grand final day two, of course, where they'll be playing from the lower bracket. I think they are up
Yes.
against. I'm not exactly sure who they're up against, but they're up against another team because all the teams today that lost will be playing tomorrow. And speaking about teams that won, though, we do have with us here the next match between Deadlykittens
Yes.
and Fighting Doges, Doggies.
Doggies. I think doggies.
Dojis.
Doggies.
I don't know. Ah man,
Interesting
these meme
name.
names. Yeah,
But yeah, speaking of names, it's cats versus dogs, which I was a bit
I
slow to
would
catch
prefer.
up on.
I would prefer to call them that.
Yeah.
Cats versus dogs coming up here right now, and the first map is gonna be on the Battlefield of Eternity. Very very standard map,
Uh-huh.
and I got caught on camera trying to flip the wire behind my back. Great job. Much love for the production team, but it seems like they are just sorting out the player sites right here.
Yeah.
I was about to throw them some compliments, but I guess I will keep that now.
Yeah, speaking of the draft from earlier, I mean, DK seems to really like the compositions that surrounds the Anubarak. They
Yeah.
seem to either prioritize it or if the enemy team just let the Anubarak slip, then they pick it up for themselves. I guess it's fine. And they're really comfortable earlier against against Serious Gaming, which is, I believe, the first match that we had
Yeah.
for today. In terms of momentum wise, they got a good boost of morale from that, and now they're going to be fighting Doges, which I believe, looking at the roster, no one is familiar. I'm not familiar with
Oh,
their
I'm familiar
players.
with Trungnia. Trungnia has been around for a while. It's a Grandmaster player also.
Ooh.
And finally, I can put that wire behind my back. But here we go, ladies and gentlemen, Battlefield of Eternity. By the way, just a small little fun fact, and that's Fighting Doges. They're a completely full Vietnamese team. So that helps with communication. Of course, Deadlykittens is made out of both Singaporeans and Filipinos. They're also the defending champions, so I'm expecting a lot from them. But Battlefield of Eternity is a map that they run a lot, so I'm excited to see what they're gonna pull out here.
Yeah, same here. They might not let Genji into the battlefield. I mean, I'm really excited to see some Southeast Asian Genjis, but it looks like this today might not be the day. But we do have a couple of matches after this, so we'll see how this is going to go as they have a few seconds left for their first ban. I believe red side is Dojis and DK, the cats here on our blue side.
Yeah, so for this battleground, we've actually seen them play a lot of gray main, so that's probably gonna get Paradise. I'm not so sure if the dogs on the right side would want to take that one out against those kittens. Um, but yeah, we have Malthael getting banned out instead. Of course, Malthael also very good in his battleground because of the fact that he does percentage health-based damage against those immortals, and we want to see that addressed, and that's out.
Definitely. Let's see what are they going to do with in response to this. I mean, we've seen a lot of priority onto the Oriel as well, and it seems that an Uther as well on DK. They have the option to pick that later on, but we're still going through the first ban as they're going to be banning the Anubarak instead.
Yeah, they're just very consistent with this ban. I like it a lot, the fact that regardless of whether Anubarak has been nerfed. By the way, guys, we're playing on a live patch, which means that this Anubarak is actually looking at a 6 range
Yes.
rather than a 9 range from his cocoon. Also, the fact that his HP has been nerfed down to about 1009, just slightly a little bit above, I think,
Yeah.
some of those ranged assassins. But regardless, we do have a Anubarak ban, so we're not going to talk much about that. But what is going to be the pick here? I think it is likely that they're going to fall through the gray main if they want to stand a chance against. I mean, well, they're dogs after all,
The
right?
dogs are gray main. they're going for that. We'll see though. They still have time to think about it, especially that DK is a team that's very well seasoned. You were already talking about how they already have a veteran player on the side of the Dodgers
Yeah,
here. So
Trungya.
Trungya,
Well,
we'll get Ariel
okay,
instead.
okay, that's fair. Oriole is just a very standard tier 1 pick, but I see the instant snap pick Genji. We haven't seen a good Genji, but that doesn't mean that they don't exist in Southeast Asia. They sure do. Deadlykittens has got one of the most fantastic Genji player around, so I'm gonna expect NSG to be playing that one there. Uh, Still, we also have got some. There we have the gray main. This is gonna be Zay's hero, so they have the staple picks here from Deadlykittens now for the fighting Doges. On this side, though, they're going to have to try and focus a little bit more on how to deny that kind of support. They already have the Oriole, so here's where they got to decide what they want to pick.
Exactly. I mean, there are a lot of power picks on the side of Deadlykittens here. They definitely got the Genji Grey main. So they decide to just secure first one of their main DPSers, which is going to be the Vala, which is understandable. I mean, it's really good to pair that up with an Oriole, quite standard. We might see a protect the Vala composition, of course, or they can settle with another DPS, probably another melee, perhaps, for their side. But we'll see. They instead get the Stitches.
All right, this is fine. I mean, very tanky health, of course. The other alternative that screams out to me would be the Tessadar. But it kind of puts all the pressure onto Vala. Stitches with the Slam build here is going to try and buy a lot of time, especially against divers like Greymane and Genji. But the problem here really is the fact that Genji is going to jump to the backline, and solo Oriole support may not necessarily be that good. You see the Tacita ban already. They know they don't want to work with that.
Exactly. I mean, there's not a lot of safety for the Oriole, especially if Genji dives in. So looks like they're just trying to congest the support options for the safety options, especially you want to pair it out with something with a lot of heals for the Genji, for the Greymane. So especially when the Genji dives in, there's a lot that could counter Genji, like especially if you have a ton of CCs, just lock him in, not able to finish off his target, and then you just punish him whenever he gets too aggressive. So with that said, they have the option right now for the side of Deadlykittens. I still wonder what support they might take, which is Rehgar. They will take the Rehgar.
It's likely going to be the Rehgar as an ultimate bailout against Greymane, plus the fact they will pick up the Tyrael. I wanted to say that Malference is a standard pick as well, but the fact that they want to go for the Tyrael kind of makes that AoE healing not a priority here. Solo Rehgar heal is going to be enough as an anti-burst. You also have got Tyrael with Sanctification. Also the fact that this lineup allows the team to dive a lot, and that would necessarily be good against that Oriole Vala comp. But the only problem here is that Stitcher, so they're going to have to try and maneuver around that.
Yeah, especially with the giant thing. It's just in the way. So, again, really nice pickup for the Rehgar. I believe the Ancestral Healing will just make up for some clutch moments where the Genji might be in a sticky situation. And let's see, 2 slots left for the side of fighting Dojis. And we'll see how they're going to plan this out, as they do have a really good first rotation in terms of picks. They've got the Oriole for themselves, but Arthas is a really good pickup for Genji against the Genji and the Greymane, so Brightwing as well.
Okay, so they're stacking all the damage onto the Vala. 2 support, 2 tank. It's good news to have the Stitches there, but the fact that the main reason why they picked up Arthas is because they realized that Stitches only get his slow on the slam towards the late game. After this, you have that little Frozen Tempest that kind of buys you a lot of space. Brightwing, though, as a secondary support against the Vala, I'm just not confident in the sense that what happens if Deadlykittens doesn't want to dive here? The sole assumption here is that you run as a tight unit, Deadlykittens try and pick you up from the sides, but what if they don't want to dive? What if they just want to take the fight slow and come and flank from a different angle? Genji's got a lot of mobility, and the fact that they're sticking together so much, Dragon Blade is going to get an absurd amount of value.
Exactly. I mean, I assume the draft for fighting Dojis is that they're assuming that they would want to take all these team fights. But just as you mentioned, what if Deadlykittens are not the head-on team fights? What if they're just about to out macro you here? But they're gonna pick up the D.Va.
Okay, this is interesting. Now we talked a lot about the fact that fighting Dojis. Oh man, this team name. fighting dojis, they need to stick together a lot, right? For it to be effective. The fact they've got some slow, they've got some, really good utility-based skills there. But Diva with the self-destruct kind of forces the team to split up. You know,
Yes.
you have to move back and forward. I'm expecting a good Diva play here will be sending the self-destruct in. So that's where you can expect that the team will probably be forced to move aside, stuff like that. But do take note that Orel's detainment strike does affect the mech. So
Exactly.
if it does come flying in, she can just
Flick
and
it out.
it's gone. It's possible. We've seen that before. But I'm excited. No matter what it is, I think that execution here is going to be a little bit tough. It's also good to note that on the site here for fighting dojis, apart from the Vala, they don't really have any good damage against the Immortal, whereas they got a Grey Main, they got a Diva, they got a Genji. It looks to be a little bit stacked on DK side for me, but take it away, Riku.
Alrighty then, so welcome to the first game of our third match here between Deadlykittens and Fighting Dojis. Meanwhile, we've got the blue side, we've got Enavir on the Diva, we've got NSJ here on the Genji, Stronger on the Tyrael, and Mur being covered by his teammates.
Rhaegar.
Rhaegar, yes sirree, and Zace on the...
Zace is going to be
Zace.
playing as, hold on, what's that here?
Yeah, is he covered by everybody else? I'm guessing that's the Grey Main.
Oh, no, that's the Genji.
The Genji, rather.
Alright,
So
that's
they
the
switched
Genji.
it up.
Yeah,
Alright,
they
alright.
switched it up. Okay, and representing the Dogs on the right side of the house, we got Tom Howard playing as the Brightwing. Richie will be your Arthas, Trungnia onto the Vala, and Sorrow as the Oriel, and Kuga will be the Stitches. It's interesting that the cat team's got 2 dogs, and the dog team's got no cats.
That is true. So meanwhile, I kind of like to mention, here comes the first hook.
A little bit of a waste there. The
Yeah.
Howling Blast not connecting, but still great attempt by Kuga. And Zace, he is known to play a lot of melee assassins before he transitioned back into the range role. So I really like the fact that they put him on the Genji here. Here we have Mur landing a bit of a slow. Kuga looking for the hook, gets Mur. Mur a little bit of trouble. And the polymorph does go down. He stays alive for a little bit. The slam coming in and picks up the kill.
Nicely done there by the side of Fighting Dojis. They managed to find a pick. But you know, we were discussing earlier how Vala is the only damage dealer that Fighting Dojis that they're going to be relying on whenever they, hit the Immortals. One thing that's worrisome about their composition is that they do have the Diva. Take note that Defense Matrix is a good counter to solo DPS. All you have to do is concentrate the Defense Matrix onto the Vala, and then for a short span of time, she's not going to be able to do much as the Detainment Strike actually hits Stronger, but close call. He survives.
Yeah, unfortunately, there's no polymorph there. Would have been an instant kill. But still, great mechanic. The last time I remember I was against a solo Vala DPS, but then I was wrong because Deadlykittens was running that lineup. And here, it looks like they are just going directly for objective top lane. I'm not so sure how it's faring like the solo Arthas against 2. And then we have, looks like Tower's going to go down. Diva just going to work there. This trade does not look favorable at all for the Dogs.
Suri, as they will be heading on to our first Immortal phase here, with Stronger getting Detainment Strike on towards the wall, but he's going to be A-okay as Zace actually drops in. Kuga getting zoned out by the Diva.
All right, Kuga still staying alive. A bit of the Devour magic right there. You see the defense magic coming into play, but not being very effective. Zace in the backline picks up 1 kill, gets stunned immediately, and Iver still alive somehow. Sorrow could just right-click the mech, and he does it exactly, pulling back once again. And it looks like this is going to be about it.
Well, look at that. Actually, Arthas with the Howling Blast onto Zace. Nice pickup. And that'll be the Genji falling down with them with the advantage of more control over this Immortal. And will you look at that? 1 member down, but looks like they're still stalling as Enavir is super low.
Yeah, very nice play here by Deadlykittens. They do have that Greymane that's taking out the Immortal by himself. And this is the magic of having Greymane in this battleground. Problem here is that I find that Fighting Dojis, they're not able to really make that make the most out of the play there. They could have gotten a lot more kills a lot earlier.
Exactly. As, damage-wise, they are definitely lacking. And because of that, they had to suffer. Deadlykittens will get the first Immortal on their side as they might start another fight.
All right, Kuga looking for a hook maybe. Zace spots out the rest of the team here.
Uh-oh.
And Kuga's going to be fine. Nice little sweep there from Sorrow, but the Immortal's going to travel all the way down to the bottom lane, and you see the positioning coming to play here already from both teams.
Man, nicely done sidestep coming from Stronger. I feel like that hook would have connected. Might be another pick, but I just remembered that the Arthas might not be around. Mir actually just hitting down that tower as they are just going to try and defend. Give this up. Stronger. Just backing down. Respecting the damage coming from the Vala here. But you know what? It's just really a tough early game for fighting Dojis.
Yeah, not going to be easy at all. We talked about a slam build. It's only effective mid-game, and this is where they're going to have to stall you out a little bit. But you see the four-man approach coming in here from both teams down on the bottom under siege, or rather Kasseras there. And you can see that it will go to the blue team. Top lane-wise, looks like a pretty easy win for Office, but once again, you're going to have to address this lack of sustain, or rather CC, from the red team.
Exactly. I mean, they're already banking on the early game hook with a Howling Blast to finish off the target, but with Arthas solo laning, their combo will not be complete, so they really have to just play defense on this one as Deadlykittens rotate to the top side of the map confidently as well, just chipping down each structure as much as they can, with Fighting Doges forced to play with the music of Deadlykittens. And right now, it's them taking camps.
Okay, this is where I don't really agree with their play. I think that they should have gone all in on the bottom fort. I think it was a great opportunity because you saw multiple people top lane. Reacting once again puts you on a back foot in this game. You want to make sure that you trade, and you want to make sure they come up on top of each trade, not to come in here and to try and react. It's just a reaction game, which means that you're always one step behind.
Exactly. They're Fighting Dojis just running around all over the place, forced to just try and defend every Deadlykitten rotation. And that's why it's kind of hard to find these opportunities. Again, they're kind of banking on the fact that whenever there's not going to be an Immortal, they're going to bank on the hook, the CC, the hard CC that the Arthas has. But then again, they're running out of time here. Again, they're going to be pushing this bot side. But Arthas dies at the top lane.
Critical mistake right there. Mer just picking up the camp, very nicely done. That means that they will have a bit of an extra edge pushing down the bottom lane while they go for the Immortal here. 4 versus 5 still. Office coming out in just under 5 seconds.
Exactly. I mean, we already mentioned earlier from Fighting Doge's draft is that they're going to be looking for these team fights, find a pick, and that's the time they're going to settle for the Immortal. But Deadlykittens, again, they have a choice not to engage. But look at that Ener there, just zoning them away, giving them space. It looks like we might see a fight soon if Fighting Doges actually starts one. This is what they should do.
Yeah, I would defend. Straight up defend. Defend against the Immortal here, but Kuga takes a bit of a beating there. You can see immediately the self-destruct coming, connecting onto the Brightwing. Trung now gonna be fine, but Kuga in the backline doing a little bit of work, gets left behind, will go down at the end. Trung now too low, not close with the support Oriel at all. And this is once again gonna be a bottom lane stump by the Immortal.
Exactly. I mean, the thing is, you really don't have to finish the Vala off. All you have to do is just either force her away, zone her away, and because of that, everybody else is just right in the open, not able to do anything. Not even though they're tanking for days, there's not much damage to go around with. So Deadlykittens just really knows how to fight through the weaknesses of the draft of Fighting Doges, and because of that, they're rewarded with another Immortal plus top side as well. So pressure all over the map. They still are going to be aiming for that level 10 as Fighting Doges as well is very low on levels.
Yeah, well, see, the funny thing there was the fact that it was just the better camp pushing the bottom lane, and because the red team was just split between defending against the camp, defending the Immortal, that's what happened there. And here, you see immediate value from this Immortal. Level 10 already hit by Deadlykittens, taking most of the heroics already being picked up as well. And it will be a Judgment hero, by the way.
Wow. Very aggressive play from the Tyrael. Okay, there comes the Judgment. Trung, yeah, actually very low, but they're going to be safe for now. But then, never mind. Nope. That's going to be the Genji finishing them off.
All right, you saw the Dragon Blade being played. Mer takes a bit of a beating from that fort and will go down. Stronger gets a bit of a tough spot. Zace, unfortunately, not able to jump past there. And that last spear out of nowhere just took him out. And you have a total of 2-for-1 exchange, but a keep will stand. What looks like will stand. Please stand. All right, there we go. Sorry, reputation on the line there.
Exactly. It's all right. NSJ?
Ooh,
almost.
so close.
I actually thought that was NSJ's demise there. But it looked like Enavir will just settle on pilot mode, just scouting around, getting information as the Brightwing. That's Tom Harvard there. In
yeah, I think it's going to be fine. The tricky part about this combo from the blue team is the fact that you've got that bunny hop slow going into a Dragon Blade. But speaking about a fight, let's pull out the replay from the fight earlier. And there we go. Don't worry about the bottom lane. We'll be back in just a jiffy there. You look at that Judgment in already, and Stronger in a bit of a bad spot. But Endeavor goes in with those hops. Zaze picks out one target, and he pulls back out again. So very, very disciplined maneuver from DK. Unfortunately, they do lose people here because they overextended a lot. So let's go back into the game there. And yep, Zaze, that spear, by the way, was a minion that flew really far.
Flying spear.
All right, as promised, nobody died there. Nothing was lost.
Yeah.
So don't worry about it. It was just teachers, you know, with those farts.
Exactly. So, oh, here comes the Dragon Blade. I hear that being activated.
All right, you see Zaze going in with some extra value, but unfortunately, lack of CC means that they're not able to do enough damage, especially without the Diva. Diva, the fact that she actually has a timed mount, in the sense that you can only use booster. All right, and once every maybe 14 seconds, it's not the most effective way to travel around the map. So she's good in small battlegrounds, but unfortunately, it still takes time for her to go into position. And Ever, bunny hop, but an immediate cancellation there. And you see Endeavor still trying to pop off that defense matrix. Bunny hop already in position though. No self-destruct, and the Judgment onto the backline. Stacy's already being popped. The Crystal Age is being used on the Kuga. Kuga's going to be fine. Ricci, however, gets no love from the team. He picks out one target, and Stronger now in the backline still tries to get work done. Genji comes in, picks out one target. Ricci now also going to go down, but Kuga with the slam and a hook on the NSJ. This is going to be huge if they can get the last hit there. And yes, they do get that extra hungering arrow onto him. So 3-4-2, and Fighting Doggy still in this game.
That is actually the fight Fighting Doges is looking for. That was perfect. I mean, the Vala was just alive, kiting for days. And let's take a look at the replay.
Yeah, we love replays. Replays love us. You know.
Indeed, they do.
Here we go. Replay is on the way. But
yes.
Meanwhile, let's look at a beautiful bikini Stitcher showing off excellent costume design.
Exactly. I love the sound effect, the thump.
Here we go. Quick
replay.
Melee.
All right, let's see the replay
there we go.
On what happened there in the fight. So as you can see, really good zoning. I mean, Enavir had a great idea to just disrupt and just split them up, but the Bunny Hop didn't do much. He's out of the mech, but Vala was just kiting for days. No one was able to reach the Vala. I mean, Zace was doing the right thing, managed to just zone away the low health targets, but Vala was still alive, up and running, dealing the DPS, and that's why they lost the fight there. I mean, the win condition for their team fight could either be just zone away the Vala, but then Vala was still pretty safe. But look at this Immortal, they're still alive.
Kuga, she's gonna be fine. Nice pull back there. Mur in a lot of trouble, but then we have the Judgment coming to play, and Mur will go down without popping the Ancestral, and Ever dropping a little bit as well. Ricci's gonna be fine, but there goes Genji. And it looks like NSJ is a bit of a tight spot. Bunny hopping forced out here out of Endeavor's Diva. And there we have the pilot mode. She is very vulnerable. Somebody please love her and not kill her. But, oh, well.
Oh, wow. I mean, you already saw Tyrael picked up the Judgment there. So that means they're just going all in. No safety. No safety. They're really confident whenever they enter these fights. So if they don't have any safety net in terms of like their heroics, then if they enter the fight, they don't kill Vala, then they're in trouble. So it's quite linear, if you will.
Yeah.
But for Fighting Dojis, they really have a good position right now, especially that they're getting all the fights that they want. They're all 5-on-5 team fights.
Yeah, very well done by the dogs on the red team. But at the end of the day, you have to give Kuga really all the credit there. Great Bow there, as well as the fact that a hook on the Mur. Mur's just a hook manic at this point. And then we have NSJ coming in as well. And the root, the burst going in. Defense matrix not being very effective, but still is going to help a little bit. And then Ever with a bit of a booster push back. The team still stands. The ball already being used onto the ground there. Kuga with the slam coming in. Those little DOT damage is very effective against a solo support. And then we have the self-destruct mechanic being popped already. And Ever dropping a little bit.
Ooh.
But it is not going to be enough.
Yeah, nicely timed Aegis as well, so it just won't be damaged as Enerveer will try to boost his way out rather as Stronger. Leading the retreat, but gets the Howling Blast, gets rooted, Defense Matrix on the defense rather, but look at that. Fighting Doji's really pushing their advantage right now.
This is a war. It's right here, all out, no self-destruct. There is no mechanic that could possibly stop them. Trungnia in the defense picture, gonna be very careful there. He pulls back out immediately, and it's a keep for fighting dojis. And a Verve, the self-destruct being pushed in. No Oligon whatsoever, and a stun onto just the Oriel there. Down goes the Arthas. Sorrow in a lot of sorrow right now. Wishes for some hope, gets no hope at all. Bonnie Hop coming in. Sorrow is gonna go down. Tom Harvard as well. Kuga and Vala, the only two survivors.
Yeah, not gonna let fighting dojis escape as they are aiming for more, but Kuga will safely return to base. They're gonna be using this death timer.
Oh, it's a good trade.
Yes, definitely a good trade as the fort from earlier was already pretty low. Stronger get pulled in.
You gotta be very careful here. Trungnia, the soul damage dealer without any support, and he does go down. This could be a core moment in what looks like an absolute 180 degrees change of direction for this game. And it looks like it's game. There we go. Richu comes up. There we have a nice ancestral on the main damage dealer. Zay is a little bit of trouble. Stitch is not able to do anything at all. And game is over. Ladies and gentlemen, mind-blowing. Last 60 seconds, I would say, of this game.
I don't know what... I mean, that was fighting Doja's chance to actually, you know, get into a good place in the game. But then they blew it all up. Once the Vala was gone... I don't even know. The Vala was there. He was right in the open. The rest of the front line wasn't still alive. I feel like if they could have played it more patiently, the game would have lasted longer. They had the best position already. They managed to kill off a fort, a keep already, and just as you mentioned, 180-degree turn.
Yeah, it's just 60 seconds of everything going the wrong way. We're going to replay for that, the last fight, at least. And what I have in mind here is the fact that you look at the red team's positioning here. All right, you have Arthas, completely no respect right there. He deserved to die. And Tom Harvard pulling back. But at this point, I think it's pretty clear that you have already lost that Oriel. So what's the point in this little left turn here from Tom Harvard? There is no point at all. Oriel's already gone. This is just going to be an extra kill here for the blue team, which would translate to, I guess, another 30 seconds. And we lost the fact that Vala died there. But you really want to pay attention to keep healths.
Yes.
And this is what I think that the red team did not do. It's so close for them. They were in a good spot. Of course, they still had to work their way out of the bottom fort, but regardless of how I look at it, it sure looked like they were on a momentum.
Yeah.
Arthas overextended with just a solo damage dealer. You have to play it tight.
Exactly.
And even during the draft, we talked about the fact that self-destruct is going to force this team to split up. And when it's being thrown in such a good direction, Oriel without a detainment strike, getting stunned on, couldn't save Arthas. Arthas was too deep. And then you have a little bit of mistake by the Brightwing player. And that's game all of a sudden because you only have one damage dealer, you know, that keeps lost, that keeps gone.
Exactly.
Right? It's like down to about 20% HP. So why do you bother defending a keep? Why don't you just, you know, do a little bit of poke damage? You got Stitches. Stitches could just slow a lot. The moment you see the Diva with the booster coming in, you just have to vault backwards and you're fine all of a sudden. But we don't see that. In fact, we saw a very challenging Vala.
Yeah.
You know, completely out of position, trying to pick up fight there.
Yeah.
And, well, still a little bit of a unexpected turn.
Exactly. I mean, I was really expecting the game to be longer. They had a fighting chance. They could have just settled for the fort and then backed away after that and respect that because in terms of heroics, there wasn't much to go around with in terms of protection. They already used the Aegis. They already used a lot on their hands. So I expected them to just back away, respect that, and fight another day. But they didn't. They were really greedy. They lost a lot of members. I think they lost 2 members, correct?
3.
3 members. So they lost the Vala again, and then because of that, I mean, they could have copied what Deadlykittens did. They didn't finish off the fort from earlier. They just kept it at, I don't know, 20% and then just backed away. So I guess this is probably a lesson learned, but looks like Infernal Shrines will be the next map.
It is also, we forgot to give full credit to Deadlykittens for the fact that they acknowledge a win condition.
Yes.
You know, a good team that could tell that, all right, this is game. You pick 3 targets off. We got the top keep at 10%. And you just go in for the win there. Very nicely done. Infernal Shrines, of course, a little bit bigger, so I'm not going to expect Diva getting picked up here. So maybe that was the cause of concern for fighting dojis here. But regardless of what it is, I hope that they realize that they definitely would have gotten the keep already, but Arthas didn't need to detour down to chase
Yes.
after one target and then realize that, oh, my team decided to leave. Why? Oh, there's a bomb behind me. Man.
Yeah, I mean, I guess this is a momentum definitely for Deadly Kittens as they have technically 3 wins already on their backs from
They
their
are.
2-0 from against Serious Gaming from earlier. I'm really excited what kind of draft they're planning to form this time around for the side of Dojis, as you know, it was a solo DPS. They're very reliant. It's quite linear, if you will. The 5v5 team fights, they're going to be relying on that. But I feel like they have something up their sleeves, most likely. But Deadly Kittens is really an experienced team. They have a lot of compositions in their pockets, so it's quite tough. I understand.
Yeah, but if you look at it from a very positive point of view, we all know that fighting Dojis, they were the underdogs in this lineup. And if I were part of the team and I just came off a game like that, instead of feeling, oh, we could have had that, I would have feel so good.
Yeah.
Because you know that you could have had that, which means that you are at a level where uh, you really feel like you are top notch
Yeah.
right there. And this is a team that's never played before. We've never seen this team around before. We do know just one player from it. And by the way, game 2 just began. The draft right here. Inferno Shrines it is.
Yes,
And
sir.
1-0, there we go.
I mean, going back to what you said, I do agree with you there because fighting Doji's micro play, especially during team fights, was very impressive. I mean, I could tell that Deadly Kittens had a hard time actually reaching the Violet. They even went with Judgment and all that, but we'll see how they're gonna plan this second draft for their second game against Deadly Kittens, really showing good skills or mechanics during these team fights.
All right, so I would expect probably a Stitches ban. I don't know, but if you ever got a hook magnet on your team, you want to remove the hook, and then we have the Stitches ban.
They're hovering over that. They don't want to see that
Yeah.
on the field. But at least, you know, we've seen. I was actually expecting the Genji, the NSJ to play Genji, but instead we saw Enervir on the
No,
Genji.
Zace.
Zace, rather,
Yeah.
on the Genji.
Okay, it's still gonna be the Anubarak. I like that a lot. I think that sticking to the guns is what matters here for Deadlykittens. They were thrown a little bit off guard in the last series.
Definitely.
Still, Kuga played a fantastic Stitches. It was like he knew exactly when to use the Putrid Ball. He knew exactly when to hook the targets into the ball, use the slow, which was a little unfortunate that the Arthas was not on leash. Well, they're
Exactly.
dogs at the end of the day. You know, if you're fighting, you don't want them on a leash. So I'm excited, man. This, if anything at all, Deadlykittens should be sweating right now.
Exactly.
They should be.
Definitely respecting the team fight potential, the team fight strength, mechanical strength of the fighting dojis. But they're going to be taking some time here, as this is a crucial moment, especially during the first few phases of the draft. With only a few seconds left, they're really taking their time here. I mean, Oriel was actually led onto the battlefield, Genji as well. So it's a matter of choice on who they're going to give the Oriel to, as they decide not to let that out.
Yeah, it's a key question. They were first picked, I think, in the last series, which is why they could have allowed it to slip a little bit. But here, no.
Yeah, this
Still.
opens up either Genji or Greymane again, but that depends on what their priorities are here.
Fun fact, I've never seen Mer play Oriel. So I don't think that the ban was warranted, but well, we'll find out. There we go.
Oh, they took
Yes,
the
if you've got a hook
stitches.
magnet on your team, you remove the hook, you put it on your own team instead. Very nicely done. I think Stronger is a really good Stitches player, so I'm gonna expect a lot of this Stitches here. For fighting dojos, I think its immediate reaction here would be to try and go for probably a slower game. We'll have to see. I mean, it's good to have Tassadar here. It's good to go for Oriel, sorry, not Oriel, Uther, Genji. You can remove the Genji as well. I don't think Genji was that big of a deal in the last fight. Greymane, however, was a big
Yes.
problem. But I'm not sure if they can play Greymane. We know Trongnia plays a lot of Li Ming previously and also a little bit of Chromie, so maybe they want to leave his pick to the last part. But do they want to deny the Vala as well? Do they want to deny the Greymane?
We'll see. They only have a few seconds left to actually secure whatever they want on their first pick, but
Yeah.
they decide to settle with the
Okay.
Uther and the Genji. They decided the takeaway instead. Uther was banned earlier during the first few during the first game,
Yep.
rather. So, interesting. So what support do Deadly Kittens actually get this time? I mean, they already picked the Rhaegar from earlier. They're obviously comfy with that.
Yep.
So I don't think, the Uther is more like, it could probably be one of their comfort picks as well for fighting Dojis.
The question here is that they got 2 picks, so they can easily go 1 support, 1 damage dealer, which I'm thinking gonna be Greymane for sure. They're so confident and comfortable on Greymane that it's kind of like the staple pick for the team. Support-wise, Rhaegar's a good pick. Aurel Uther's already gone. Maybe the Malfurion, that we have the Greymane.
Yes.
But for Myr, is this pool big enough to even make it past the 2nd stage? Okay, he's saying it is.
You're saying it is.
So
That's how confident they are.
Malthil is gone. Malthil primarily because it does percentage-based damage against the Stitches. So I like that. I like the deny. It's more of a deny in my opinion, but well, we'll see.
Same here, as I believe it was banned. The Malthus was actually banned earlier from the side of fighting Dojis. It is their first ban from the first game, so we'll see how they're gonna respond to this. I mean, that's a really scary heavy damage comp from the side of Deadly Kittens. So I wonder how they're gonna respond to this, especially that they have probably maybe a double healing comp again, like they've been doing for the past few games. Huh.
I'm thinking that they're gonna ban on the support here, regardless, and this can only work in their favor. But they probably want to leave Tested out open. So if I'm fighting Dojis, I'll ban out the Malfurion. That's a possibility. You may
Rhaegar?
actually there we
Malfurion,
go.
you're right.
Yeah,
Malfurion.
you ban out a Malf because in that case you narrow down the support to either a solo Brightwing, which makes absolute no sense, or
Yes.
a Rhaegar, which also makes absolute no sense. The other alternative there would have been maybe force Deadlykittens into Lucio. I don't know, but there we have Tyrael banned, and this more often than not is what I think works against DK. I don't think that fighting Dojis would actually want to go for Tyrael. The main reason why they're so concerned about the Tyrael is because the Tyrell's gonna help empower Genji a lot in that fight, but you can do so easily with just a Divine Shield. You don't need the Sanctification. That's kind of like a little bit extra. I would like to see the Rhaegar being snatched away though, just to be honest with you, because I think that's gonna really narrow Deadlykittens. But I know that they are more likely than not to go for the Brightwing on Tom Harvard.
Wow. This is really a really good battle in terms of drafting, because just as you mentioned, they're really suffocating the pool of the support of Myr. So we'll see. I mean, Malfurion gone. If they pick the Rhaegar.
No, Myr's gonna get his Rhaegar.
Okay, so Varian.
Yeah, it should be Varian Brightwing. It should be.
Should
Unless they don't really care and let Myr choose, which is...
Sonya.
Yep, they don't
Okay,
care.
they're gonna get
That's
the
fine.
Rhaegar. Okay.
This makes a lot more sense since they're fine with either, but and they may not even want to go for a support. A solo Uther could be enough. But the problem here is the fact that Sonya may provide some substantial lockdown.
True. Plus,
Um,
it's really good during the shrine takes.
But you do realize they're all kind of melee, right? So that means that you're gonna get insane amount of value from Tormented Souls from Malthil.
Is Arthas open?
Yes. Yes, Arthas is open.
Interesting. We'll see though. I mean, that's a good counter to Genji, over-aggressive Genji plays. You just lock them in and add the slow so that the melee heroes won't be able to land the auto attacks as much. So it could be another option for Deadly Kittens. But healer-wise, I'm still concerned. Support-wise.
Okay, if you look at the damage from fighting Dojis, they're all kind of single target, right? So if that's the case, they'll be going for the Rhaegar, and I don't think they will consider. Yep, there we go. The
Medivh.
Medivh. I don't think they'll consider Arthas simply because they don't have enough crowd control right there. So having Medivh's gonna help that a lot. Also, it kind of splits the fight in two, especially after the Sonya leap, assuming it's a leap. But from the looks of it, I'll be thinking twice. I don't think that Sonya should be picked up there. All right, so
They're probably aiming for objectives and clears.
they could have gone a little bit greedier and go for the Rhaegar, which
Yeah,
would
just-
really kind of mess up the Deadlykittens lineup a little bit. But because in that case, what are you gonna go for?
Lucio, Brightwing? No.
Lucio, Brightwing.
I'd rather go for the Lucio though. If
Yeah.
they're just if the choices are Brightwing and Lucio. and they instead go for the Chromie.
Okay, they want to take it slow now. That's fine. We talked about lack of crowd control from Resurgence earlier game. Just one Howling Blast not going to be enough. Here we have some form of Slam coming in. We have the Taunt variant most probably. And you also have got a Chromie to dish the damage in the back line. I think it looks to be pretty fine, but I am still inclined to think that Deadlykittens got that little bit of extra edge because you have a lot of crowd control when you add in a Medivh. You have a lot of damage as well from both the Greymane, Malthael, Medivh as well. Stitches will be able to provide substantial slow against a heavy front line.
Yes.
Like Varian, Sonya. I just don't. I think the draw fell apart with that Varian Sonya pick.
Yeah.
I think that is where it could have taken a little bit of a better turn. Tesla would have been even a lot better pickup there.
Yes.
Vala was completely ignored, if I remember correctly.
Yeah, it did not
banned.
appear at all. Wasn't banned, wasn't picked at all. I mean, it was open, but they really settled for the Genji Chromie on their side.
So lack of right-click damage, but we'll see how this game pans out here in game number 2 of Deadlykittens versus the Fighting Dojis. On the blue team, we got Deadlykitten, NSJ playing as the Greymane, Mer will be your Rhaegar, Zace on the Medivh, and Endeavor will be playing as the Malthael, stronger onto that Stitches.
Meanwhile, on the red side, we've got Fighting Dojis. We've got Kuga on the Varian, Tom Harvard on the Genji, Richie Heo on the Sonya, Saro on Uther, and Trungya on the Chromie.
All right, all you Vietnamese fans out there, do root for Fighting Dojis. They need your love and support right now. They are currently one game down in this series. If they do lose this one, they'll be playing tomorrow in the lower brackets, and then we have Stronger. Looking for a good hook already. Zace being the eye. See, this combo is really good because you get a lot of extra vision for Stitches.
Yes, that's true. So definitely synergizes well with Stronger. Maybe find an isolated target perhaps. Plus, you know, Deadlykittens, in terms of synergy, if you do pick a Medivh, it really demands a lot of teamwork and communication whenever you use those portals. So you mentioned earlier how Deadlykittens is the only one that didn't change their rosters from last season. So synergy-wise, definitely there.
Definitely, and we just saw Resurgence lost a game because of roster swap or whatever reasons it is, but Playstorm, great game there. Here, I guess consistency is going to be important, and you can see Zace being one of the best Medivh player in the scene is on his favorite hero as well. So I'm excited, man.
Same here, because Fighting Dojis actually really had a fighting chance from earlier. So it's a matter of how they're going to play around this.
Fighting chance. All right. Great job. Level 2 each side now, and rotations-wise, the plan here from Deadlykittens seems to be just a bottom mid lane rotation. Poke on the Kuga. Just got protected. Man, they should remove that from the game.
Which one?
Protected.
Yeah.
It's broken. All right, top lane. I think Malthael is gonna be able to win that lane there. Mid lane Punisher. Okay, this is interesting.
Let's see how they're gonna respond to this. With Fighting Dojis, Varian actually charging in, just gonna scare them away a little bit. I mean, in terms of like the lock-in of Varian in comparison to when a Howling Blast does it or a Root does it, I don't think it's enough time for the Chromie to actually land those skill shots unless the communication is really good. But we'll see as Fighting Dojis here, running here.
Okay, Richie decides to spin. Will face off against Ace. Nope. Decides to. He could have tapped the well, I think.
Oh my.
Could have reached the well.
Yes, could have, but they're losing one. They lost one member, which means Fighting Dojis has to respect that with giving Deadlykittens the first Punisher of the game.
Yeah, very nice play from Deadlykittens. Top lane maneuver. The fact that Genji is being forced to solo the bottom lane doesn't really sit well with me. You normally want to have him roam around a little bit, even in a big battleground like that. You kind of want to play him like a Zeratul. Trungya, bit of a bad spot.
Oh.
I think he's going to be fine. Yeah.
Yes, nicely done. Heals come from the side of Fighting Dojis almost. They tried to body block, landing in the totem for the slow, but, you know, mission accomplished. They got the first Punisher of the game with a level ahead of them.
The beautiful thing about having a Sonya on your team in this battleground is the fact that she can solo the shrine, but I don't think that this lineup from Deadlykittens is going to give her the opportunity to do that. A stun on the Tom Harvard, very beautifully timed from Deadlykittens. They knew exactly when the Punisher's going to jump. They opened up the portal, everyone appeared, and it's a great follow-up.
Yeah, body block won't be able to let you escape. All the damage as well. Nicely done. Hook onto Sorrow as Kuga will try to block some of the damage. He's still safe. Nicely done.
He's not even level 7, and he's already acting like he's charging up his Master's Touch.
Super aggressive from Deadlykittens. Well played by Zace. As fighting Dojis is going to be on the defensive side, especially that Deadlykittens has been, you know, taking all of their camps on their side. So a lot of pressure around the map with Deadlykittens, so much room for movement. Look at that. They're just taking everything.
I think this is not going to be close. Very disciplined rotations coming of Deadlykitten, and you see the hooks are so on point, but it's a variant. The second protector was a little bit too early, but small little things, just small little things, okay? That's going to be fine here. Top lane, Sonya against Melville again. Why would you want to do that?
They're lacking the damage at the moment for the side of... Oh, no. They're okay. Oh, both of them are okay. So for the meantime, Chromie's just going to be defending the mid side of the map as Deadlykittens... I mean, they don't have wave clear. They've got the Genji, yes. They got the Genji, but that won't do you any good because Chromie will be rotating back into the bot side.
Yeah.
They're going to be fine. Portals for days.
Very, very nicely done. I mean, it's like the mobility is off the chart for that kind of maneuver from Medivh. But at the end of the day, the real question here that Fighting Dojis need to answer is what's the plan? Look at Zace. Okay, no ton from Kuga. Otherwise, it would have been a dead Medivh. But still, good attempt from Stronger to hook the teammate back out of safety.
Yes, I was... yeah. Well played, but for now, whoa, Sonya almost dead.
She's not going to win.
It's so hard. It's a difficult lane to deal with. Kuga will replace Sonya as, you know, the second shrine is going to be active.
I think that it would have been a lot better if you have Genji. Just pay attention to the lane that has got the Melville. That's a great hook, but it's not going to be a kill because they don't have the damage there.
Exactly. I mean, I was amazed because there were minions there, and then suddenly just went past through it. So anyway, Shrine again active, but we still do not see the synergy between, you know, the Genji and the Chromie. It's like it's very scattered, if you will.
Yeah.
So there's not a solid plan for fighting Dojis just yet in terms of drafting. So.
I can tell you, Riku, this is what's going to happen over the next 1 minute. They're not going to fight this Punisher. Deadlykittens probably want to leave it at 39 for a little bit and possibly want to take the top keep. So top 4. Top 4 is going to be free. Dojis will be 10. They'll be defending on the keep instead. They don't have a single mercenary except this one to pick up, which Zace is already paying attention to. He does have the ley line, but I don't think he's going to bother with it because they want to go. See, 39.
Yeah.
And what are they waiting for?
They're soaking for level 10 so that they'll be prepared for this attack from Deadlykittens.
Actually, they were waiting for the camp to be picked up.
Oh.
Yeah. Waiting for the camp to be picked up because this is going to make sure that the camp comes up in front. Small little things once again, but regardless of what it is, Genji's still not going to come back because it's not level 10 yet, and that means that it will be a keep defense. Sonya's probably not able to go back home now because that bird's over her head. And yep, we should look at Sonya instead, but
okay, looks like
okay, yeah, that's
okay.
Yeah, look at that little dubstep there from Zace.
Oh, Zace. All right, so obviously
casting from the minimap.
Yeah, casting from the minimap. You can tell how Zace was moving. So this is definitely oh wow, nicely done. There's the root and everything else coming from the side of Deadlykittens. Varian was still going to be A-okay as he's pretty tanky, but the Punisher is already diving through the base of fighting Dojis, but Deadlykittens is just going to be very patient with her plays and going to retreat after that. Whoa!
Okay, sir. I don't know what point he's trying to make, but...
It's just scaring them away with this Swift Strike.
Okay. It's very nice. You see the discipline from Deadlykittens right there. They know exactly when they don't want to pick a fight. They don't have an advantage right there. That you know, terrain is not good for them at all. They want to get that 13 right now, which is why they decide to go back down to the bottom here to pick up more mercenary camps, which would have been a lot worse if they were left untouched earlier.
Whoa. And look at that. They are going to be taking camps for now as Fighting Doji is being zoned away by Zace and by Zace, by the bird. Respecting the bird there.
So much values. Now Sonya's on top lane once again. And they're being forced to 4-man defense here. And there we have the Putre Ball coming out. Trunga in a lot of a problem. You have also got a Tomato Soul in the back line. Zoro taking a lot of damage, trying to pull back up, but does not get anything done. Trungnia in the back spot, walks into the hourglass. The right click from Energy is going to be enough. Kuga will also get hooked back out. Zoro goes down to a mighty slam from Stronger. You got to be kidding me. That's a lot of value there, and that's all because they don't have that Sonya.
Exactly. And with that said, oh, Uther just came back to life and dies right after. Wow. So after that, I mean, it was a good clutch ancestral healing as well. It's just that the draft seems so cluttered. It's really not, it's not strong team fight wise, it's not strong split push wise, it's very
It's a problem.
It's a problem.
Yeah.
So I understand how Fighting Doji is having a hard time finding these fights that they actually want, especially Deadlykittens knows how to play around this.
I think the drop's a problem.
Yeah.
The laning strategy is a problem. And now they're playing 2 levels behind, if you will. And that's a very big problem because they need a level, especially for Sonya, who needs at least level 13 or 16, where she gets a little bit more tankier. There we have. Okay, so Stronger is going to just solo this one here. This could have easily been a Sonya, pit here, but for lack of better word. But now it looks like they're just trying to get back up on even EXP, and they got no target to pick off. Genji's completely useless. It's like the only objective of Genji here is just to throw shurikens at minions, and we all know how that's gonna work.
Exactly. And because of Zace's scouting, it gives a lot of information on where they're gonna rotate, as Sonya is just gonna spin, but I don't think it's gonna be enough for sustain, as there's the put rid from Stronger, hooks in Trungia. Chromie is gonna be in trouble as Dragon Blade is being released.
Okay, there we have the Divine Chill, but it's not going to be enough. Chromie still goes down a little bit too slow. And you still see Kuga pulling back out, more protected coming in here. And once again, lack of damage. Effective damage, that is.
Exactly. I mean, they have the damage. It's that there's nothing synergizing with their comp. So with the heroes that they picked, so Baron being pulled in again. But Punisher is still very healthy as Chromie is going to be back online in 3 seconds.
Oh, go back. Oh my god, Richie. He kind of threw the last game, but here he just needs to pull back. Alright, so here's where things may actually start to look slightly better for Fighting Dojis. They just need to get that level 13. They just need to make sure that they have to zone out a single target. But look at Zace once again, scouting out the back line. This is not good. He thought about the ley line though. He thought about the ley line, but good call from Zace to not use it because it was not necessary. Could have used it if they want to pull back out and if things got a little bit too rough. So good call on that part. And still one Talon down.
Yeah, I mean, Deadlykittens just controlling the map, but looks like they want to start
Perfect.
Leyline actually being placed there with a good hook coming from Stronger.
And we see Sorrow in a lot of pain. And Kuga now also gonna be alive for a little bit longer, but still goes down at the end. And Sonya just a bit too slow to join the party. See, this is the problem when you have a lot of frontliners and you don't really have a good, range damage dealer. If you check on Chromie's damage this game, it's not going to be a lot. There we have Tormented Souls coming in. Chromie gets erased. Richie now tries to pull back out, spins around for a little bit, but still goes down. A fantastic hook onto the Genji. More mobile and agile than a Cyborg Ninja right there. Mur in position. Zace just making this his new home already. It's a nightmare. Kuga comes back out. I don't think it's gonna be enough though.
Yeah, definitely not enough as Deadlykittens just wowed us again with their 4-win streak on this tournament here, taking a win against Fighting Dojis. Well played.
And the Fighting Dojis will fight no more today, but they will live to tell the tale again tomorrow because they'll be playing from the lower brackets, which still have got their opponents undecided on the other side. But overall, both games, I think the second game was a lot worse than the first. I think the first game, at least the fights were in position. At least you have Kuga, and now we all know to ban the Stitches against Kuga when we see him in HL. But still, great place from both teams.
Definitely.
Just once again, very disciplining strategy and rotation from Deadlykittens, and a lack of that response from just fighting dojis.
Yeah, exactly. I really love the first game most especially, but you know what? Later on we'll be seeing a few more matches. I think two matches
Yep.
for today. So again, I'm really really excited how this is going to pan out.
Me too. But before we go, we still have a replay of the last fight, and we want to talk about um, Zace. The main reason why he's got a ley line off cooldown is because he did not use it in the bottom lane, and that's good call. He thought about it, he portal in, he didn't use the ley line because it was unnecessary. Most players would have pressed the button there because they felt that that would have secured at least a Sonya kill, which would secure the keep. But Zace, he saw that, my team's got it.
Yeah. So they managed to use it earlier on the last fight, which actually equated to their victory. So from a ley line to a hook from Stronger.
Look at this. Zace in position. Fantastic ley line. It's got two. And ever the best spot a Malthael could be in the middle of the fight. Sorrow. You know what's another word for sorrow? Pain.
Pain. That's what they felt.
They
Ah,
made
man.
sure to feel that.
Yes, sirree. So, level gap as well. I mean, it was really tough. Just as you mentioned, I really love the first game coming from them. It really showed what their strengths were and the potential of this team. I think this is the first time we've seen this team and they really did a good fight at the first one. But Stronger with the hooks, just really scary when he plays Stitches.
That should have bounced off that little barrier there. Not sure what strings he pulled.
Well played there, Babel.
All right, so ladies and gentlemen, this is it for this match, and congratulations to Deadlykittens. They're now currently in the winner bracket finals, which we will cover later on today. And our next match will be up in just a bit. I think it's going to be Playstime up against Meowpoke. That's going to be a really exciting one,
Yes.
and I'm just psyched up for that.
Same
We'll be
here.
back in just a jiffy. Thank you.